Hey everybody, welcome to the Deep Dive Show. My name is Mpho. Our goal with this show is to bring you and I in proximity to the people and ideas that will show us that it is possible and it can be done, and eventually help us achieve on our dreams, on our goals. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special guest. He's a speaker, a radio personality, a published author, a financial consultant. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have in the building Kago Keotshwaetse. Welcome to the show, my brother. I got the surname right. I got the surname right, man. Thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah.
I want us to begin here. Just tell us about your story, who you are, where this started for you. Mm-hmm. You do so many things, but just walk us through your journey and where you began.
Okay. Like you already said, my name is Kago Keotshwaetse. I come from Mutshudi, Kokatleng.
Okay.
I started my entrepreneurship journey in 2016, I will say, as just a speaker. And then I got to see that there's a world of speaking, a world of authoring, a world of information dissemination in different ways. So I said, let me raise a company that can help people to dissect and also heal societal illnesses that we find, but specifically speaking to finances, because you'll find that a lot of issues are stemming and falling back into money issues, starting from relationships at work, at office. Most of the court cases, 80% of them relates to money. And you can see that we have to learn this thing, how to make it, how to manage it, and also how to multiply it.
Divorce too.
Yes. So it can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, how we hold it. So started to do trainings, write books, and so forth. So that's where everything started and kept on growing, getting accredited, training NGOs, training societies, getting into corporates. And now that's where I am right now, getting into radios and so forth.
Beautiful.
Yes,
2016?
Yes.
I thought like you'd say 2002.
No.
Hey man, I mean, what you have created is beautiful.
Yes, sir.
You have a huge following.
Yeah.
On different platforms.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what is money to you?
Money is your behavior expressed in the form of exchange tool. Money expresses who you are. As they say, money can change you. Money doesn't change people. They reveal to people. There are people that right now they are humble because they don't have money. When they have money, you will say the character.
Yeah.
And for example, I think if you go to tertiary, you'll find that Hallam says immediately the attendance changes. And I got a bathroom, kabunya. Homo wants our Madiana emotions, Madiko Mocontinia, Madiko maybe one has how to do you know the South African show I Blew It?
Yes.
Because if it was out to plug and or mind also look up or can't young cat to so we kill him on me and Matata Mad. Adiru a lehore go dile jang adiru a lehore mo environment e ntseng jang ha gompieno ana le gore o rata go tsamaya o tshwere cash nna ke le motho le karata I may be influenced to change my ways but I tla ana le cash la re ka go mansa pay a reka di chips so I'm like le nna ke simola go cash I've got a habit from you. You find your mom, your dad, your sibling, your uncle, whoever you're staying with. This thing becomes part of you. Because someone and also create the wealth. So I will say 60% of us and how we relate with money. I remember how my grandmother used to send me
to figures of authority to us.
Yes, naturally they are figures of authority. So it has a way of modeling the way you look at love.
True.
If you grew up in an abusive family, you may have abusive traits. If you grew up in an environment, there are those traits it's a behavior. You learn it and you execute it. So it's easy for me to save. So it's a behavior that can be changed and create a habit of that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well put. So if I'm sitting here and I want to change the way maybe I have a toxic relationship with money. My money never stays in my presence. It comes and goes, just like that. Where would you start with me? Like, what are the things I need to identify and start, where do I start?
Okay. I call myself the financial doctor.
Yes.
For a reason being that we need to diagnose you because everyone has their unique problems and strength about money. Let me talk about what should I look at. We need to look at okay, first and foremost. Onna hakai, o jaeng, o kgweetsa eng, o duela dikolo tsa mohuta mang. Gone mo hela you are gauging whether you are living at your means, within your means, or under your means, I get. All these three, let's their own advantages and disadvantages. They beat themselves up. And by people who are able to keep a hairstyle, or one to change a little idea, or now smooth or catalyst, but you can do we beat up or we got our nines. I read the hairstyle like a ducolo down on Flora, and then after we diagnose your habit, that is your spending habit. Then we diagnose for okay, what do we have in terms of assets and liabilities? Asset the guest personal lessons was in some much. Liabilities and then we look at your monthly spending, like your grocery, your rental, or bukai or save bukai, we kataga bukai, or the restaurant thing bukai and everything. That case gauge us for okay, on me. After 10 days is enough hello, says Gabukai. After 10 days, 20 days is Gabuka, how says 5 days. Amadi Italan. Whatever my house on Italan and Garabarala, I don't know. But like clear hell, my house on Italan is their mindset. One of the people in I Blue It, which I like to watch, said a very profound statement. Said everyone has their financial ceiling. So there's a way your mind will operate normally. And it will operate overexcited when you are given that particular money. You may be given a card. When I'm me stealing in 10,000, only 60,000. Choose 10,000. Because you've reached your ceiling.
Okay.
So the moment you adjust your ceiling to say, okay, I can have this. That's why most of the time you tell people, how soon we have money, don't go to shopping without accepting that you have that money because you are excited at that particular moment. The whole money we 2 minutes because we 2 minutes. And then shops have also found psychologically how they can hack your mind and say, okay, fine, buy this for this month, buy this. I've got available Black Friday. Some of them this scam hand. So you need to learn your habit and how they say if you take 24 hours with the money, you accept to any there's 90% chance of it's comes but because of emotions. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well put. We're going to pause here for a break. We'll be back with Mr. KK. You're watching this video. I'm guessing there's some amount of value that you're getting from this video. I'm here to tell you that we have more. We've created a Patreon account. This is a monthly subscription-based model where you'll be investing as little as $5 a month to be able to support our work. And in turn, you will have access to behind the scenes, exclusive content, live shows, and even information on future events. Your investment into us allows us to be able to create more and better content, to be able to push these stories off. It is possible and it can be done. So if that sounds interesting to you, head over to patreon.com/deep dive sessions and become a patron. See you on the inside. Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Kago Keotshwaetse. Now, we talked about money and, I think this author, T.Harv Eker, used to call it money blueprints in his book.
Yeah.
What makes people want to always, what incentivizes people to use money like that? In the sense of maybe using it in a way that's working against them.
It's the same with we put why this land. Why all this kind of woman. Sometimes it's how thing or maybe you are looking for what someone who's close to you used to do things that same way. It's a trait, it's a habit. So, but they need to unlearn that and relearn that, especially if something is toxic. So you need to assess yourself, diagnose yourself. Why am I doing this way? Why am I doing this way? I once shared a post. Some people are still hanging on traits that they need to let go because of their. You may be, let's say, you grew up in a very poor environment. Listener fridge then you get accustomed to this living. Even if you're not mad, for you, because it's where you grew up. It's a habit. So people need to unlearn and know why they are doing things the way they do them. What is the goal? What's the bigger picture? Where do you want to go? Is it fulfilling into that? Of course, there may be mistakes, but we assess, okay, fine. And most of the time when I teach about budgeting, budgeting is to be accountable to yourself with your money. Don't just use money and ask where money went. That is recalling expenses. Budget. Before my day, okay, I'm expecting my salary to be this much this month, and 20% they had 10% they have
before my
10% they get tithe before my day. In the account, I get that way. But this way you have 10,000 that's another you recall the expense and you are saying you are budgeting. No. You need to understand your traits and habits regarding money. And also why would you save money? Cash, credit card. Who taught you that? What is the benefit of it? And also you need to teach yourself because money will never exhaust it. And its teachings. You need to learn okay, fine. Get to see. I think it was last 2020 I realized when I get to say airtime close to 16,000 for the whole of the year.
Whoa.
And I didn't see it until I said, okay, every month, let me record my expenses. So after that, I did an Excel being calculated. Total, how much have I spent? In the books, I spent close to 38,000. I'm like, what? So all these things, you may not see them every month when you do. But cumulatively, it shows your habit and your priorities. Okay, where is your money
over time?
And that Excel will show you the percentage. Then you can be able to see the leakages. If maybe sometimes is efficient. Last year it's a market, this year it's a market. Then you can be able to see. Also help you to find a highly fuel efficient, fuel effective. So a lot of us got harakwali about spending so that we can see our traits, because it's very important to see okay. Then you get to realize chances how much time did you use last year? You won't know because you didn't write it down. But if you can start writing it, then you can say, I can take it later. Why shouldn't I do it? Then you cut those costs. So it helps you to plan.
Well put. Now, there's so much that you do, many facets that you are in. You're an author. And you're a speaker too. Talk to me about in your whole sphere. And you talk a lot on relationships too. I want to touch on that. In your whole sphere of all these things that you do, I can see the connection. But for you starting out, because I think as many entrepreneurs, as we start out, we have so many ideas. I get it. But you will hardly ever implement or have anything worthwhile if you try all of them at the same time. How are you able to balance this out and say, okay, this is how I'm moving from this one to this one to that one?
The why part of it. Everything has a why and there's a reason behind that. Okay, if I start here, this will fit on this one. This will fit on this one. This will. Let's say, for example, you want to start cocoa, and also you want to have a grocery store, a restaurant. So of these three, you may sit down and do a business plan and say, okay, which one is more risky, which one is most profitable, which one requires less capital. Then you may start with that one. Then slowly but surely, as you do profits, you require less capital. Then from there, you can take all over the value system.
Okay.
Happy is also to have someone who can accustomed to, can guide your mentor to say, look, I have this 3 here that I view. It's just here, then go sit down and take a decision. Also, again, is to read a lot about successful people. One thing I like is biographies, how someone started, their struggles, where they lived, where they are, and so forth. That way shows you then it can help you also learn how to plan. But so if you have business idea, sit down, write it down, the pros and cons, financial implications and income that you'll get that way to help you. You may start a restaurant. The restaurant is profitable. I'm no longer buying the cocoa from Kago. Then you are closing the value chain from there. Everything that you started with now is coming to time, but it will take time. Most of the things like as entrepreneurs, we don't have patience.
Yeah.
Everything should be there. If you start today, you already want to be like Kago, you start today, want to be like Remahang, you need to build and also learn from those whenever went ahead of us in terms of experiences, in terms of knowledge, in terms of entrepreneurship, magnitude and experience in the field.
All right. Beautiful. I want to pause here for a break. We'll be back with Mr. KK. Welcome back, everybody. You are here in the Deep Dive Show. Now, if you've watched this video up to this point, definitely make sure to drop a like and comment below on your biggest takeaway thus far. Mr. Keotshwaetse, talk to me about crowdfunding and Motshelo. There's something that you speak you talk a lot about. You raised 1.2 million off of social media, which is insane for me. Like, it's crazy. So talk to me about how that happened and all that you are working around and building.
Okay. Tata crowdfunding, I always say this, for it's just the Mpho that went to a private school. So
nice.
It's pulling people together with the same interest to raise money for the purpose of a certain project that you guys can do, so that tomorrow it can give you dividends or returns. So 2020, we started early 50. We to say, look, we want to invest and let's find what we can invest in. We came up early 50, popped out thousands for 2 years. That's like 50,000 per month. Over the 12 months, is 600,000 the first year. And the second year, we raised 1.2 million. And we, as money was coming in.
How many were you?
50.
You were 50?
Yes.
And you said how much were you popping out each?
1,000 per month.
1,000 per month.
So every month we have around 50,000.
Okay.
So the money we invested in cab. We had around 13 cabs.
Okay.
And then we went on to get to car rentals. I think we have around 4. I'm not sure about that one. I have to confirm. And also we
different
bought
companies.
Yes, it's mother company. That is Fin Car Rental, Fin Cabs. Then there's Fin Farm that we recently purchased. Is inside our Tamaga as well, where we want to do some horticulture products.
Yes.
So the aim is to have all this contribution and then we see our value. Then we can also ask for financial assistance from cooperatives such as Bosida, NDB, in these financial institutions, so that we have a value system or a value chain in create the employment. Like if you look at we have around 13 cabs, means 13 employed drivers. We have 2 office admins, so it means we are creating employment because we are into the business. So crowdfunding is something that is close to my heart because I've seen that the problem is the system administration. I think mostly how ka ela tlhoko tla ba sa tsenye di lawyer go sana le kontraka gore ha motho a tswa go iragala motho a tlhokagala ha motho a batla go tsena ha motho a batla go tswa. That should be in the constitution and clear and precise, so that tomorrow when everything goes, and also have a lawyer, because you can't think you know law, have someone who is law.
Definitely.
Expertise. Now we'll just deal with financials, projections, and so forth, where we are skilled at. So that's how you've been running smoothly. We are yet to unveil certain things about it, but when it has been quite good. There aren't really any issues, any scandals that are coming out, and we hope no scandal will come out.
Yes.
So there are certain projects that I'm also still coming up with. The other one is to do the chain store.
Yeah.
For Botswana, by Botswana.
Nice.
Similar to the Lesotho one. We are still trying to find how we can go about it in a very good way, because we don't just say, no, this is my accounting. Kamuso, NBFIRA, FIA, DIS, DP, DCEC, itagona armadia zogara. Kesna any license, so we want to do everything according to the law. For every race, then we can start to register whatever. And also how we capture data. So that's how Motselo has been, because now for me, Motselo, I've learned where we have normalized it to be a consuming thing. We need to now start to invest. I was helping. I was helping a group here, Montelo, to get a franchise because they will spend close to 150,000 at the end of the. If like, okay, if this man was buying in a grocery store, how would that be? So they looked at it. They said, okay, fine. Give us a year. We're not gonna buy a grocery. Let's buy a franchise. They got a franchise as a right. So right now they are buying in their store. And they are able, actually, they were telling me they want to buy a farm or vertical integration, and also to take the whole value chain, because banale butcher ne ba re batla go rua gape, so ba reke mo go bone ba pe madi a ntsa tsana mo go bone. So it's the Jewish system, madi ha
generational wealth.
Yes, a dikologela gone.
Beautiful. Now I wanted to ask because I don't assume every single of the 50 people is running the business or managing. Who runs it? Who manages it? And the accountability of it. How does it work like that?
We have people who have hired at the office to do the day-to-day running. How about the cable to deal? We don't need to know that. Now you just need a report at the end of the month. There's an executive committee that the office reports to. The executive committee reports to the members on a quarterly basis. The office reports on a monthly basis. Then that way, at the end of the year, AGM, we everything maloko aditsa at the end of AGM and babolo re bokana me re tla kgagana bokana.
How do you choose an investment then?
How do you lebella di tse di harologaneng tota re tlala ka di idea e be re lebella letseno le the capital that we will need. Those are the key things. And then re lebella le gona re mo COVID what can bloom gone yan, how le betso into agriculture ga re in Meroga. I remember, I think last month ke rekile di onion di 320 pula go di a short. I'm like, what? So this means there's a shortage of these things. We need to make sure that we avail it. If you look at the import bill, there are a lot of products that are important which are agriculture based, and we need to fill that gap. And who's going to fill it? Harna masimu bunte barona. That's why we need to find ways on how we can be game players in that and make sure that whatever that we do there in a success, because remember how there are different skills, experiences, knowledges. How does that CV the level? O dirla account to HR, o bereka ko Ministry of Agriculture, o bereka ko finance, o loka ko banking, o loka ko HR. So you know how to use these different skills.
Yes.
O mongwe ke quantity survey, o mongwe ke bandidiba. So go nna monate gore le khone go assign the project e be le ka tswella go happy.
Excellent. Excellent. Well put. I'm going to read something here that you wrote. Two things, actually. Number one, because I wanted to ask these in your context. Right? Because number one, you said find 3 hobbies. One to make you creative, make you money, and the other one is to keep you in shape. So what are those for you? Some of those.
The creative one. It's me reading. I like reading. I read 8 books per month. My target for this year is 120.
American SEALs.
I don't like to be normal.
That's a lot.
So that's how I become creative. The one that makes money is me speaking now. How do I monetize that? So that I shape you get a lens and I want to give you the I like PlayStation.
Yes.
I like like gaming. So yeah, so it's now that I'm planning to do gym. And also, I'm 5-a-side at church, we play 5-a-side.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I'm trying to be healthy.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. The other one, this is where my interest was really piqued here. You talk a lot about relationships. You talk a lot about relationships, but this is something you wrote. 10% of conflicts and arguments are due to difference in opinion. The remaining 90% to the wrong tone of the voice. I thought that was extremely powerful. For me, I read that, I was like, it was like light bulb moment.
We have a couple here.
So talk to me about that. How does that happen? So walk me through that.
I think like some issues when someone starts in a more defensive mode, I saw a joke someone are motogana ki on sama ba ka utlwala bathong ke re ya are motho hang on sama ba ka utlwala ke re ya you can feel or motho wa itse or motho bua me ha batla go accept because there's a level of pride and ego ha batla ba win. So it is where now the voice goes up. It's where it's where everything is lost. We may have differences, but the tone matters. Conversation. So how can I talk about those in signal? They are relationship, both friendships, they are romantics one. But then the tone differs. Because people like using a tone if you are not so most of the argument there is an argument. It's just that someone decided not to understand pride. So for you to break that thing, from that angle. Okay, how do we attend to issues? Then find a way of solving that issue going forward. And the tone that we'll use, it will determine the outcome, because sometimes even if we're wrong, provoke and you're gonna be defensive.
Sure.
So there's no need for us for real money. Let me just use a calm voice. If
Beautiful. Now talk to me about modern dating, because I don't think it's the same as it used to be. I think a lot has changed. Where do you think is the biggest pain point in modern dating, and how can we work around it in terms of the dating landscape today?
Okay. I think there's a lot of information dissemination. I think it was last of last year. Yeah, last of last year. I bumped into an article that was talking about pornography, how it was invented, because I saw how Pornhub tripled its revenue
during lockdown
in 33 days of lockdown.
Tripled.
And how they were in their financial report. I actually downloaded the Pornhub financial report.
And it's $1 billion industry.
Their subscription from, I think, for that 33 days, they were at like 2.1 billion. After 33, they were at 4.2. And one was saying 2 billion in a little bit more than a month.
Yeah.
And then they went on to analyze the information through what. Then we go school and how school mostly I'll be using a computer. I open a porn website, then I just log. I think
we just open the tab.
And then so that's how the kids get introduced to that. And then there was this other one in a super kerekeng. Got the Wi-Fi, it's a kerek. For how church, how they connect to it. I couldn't they get all this data and analyze the.
So church was right up there, like in terms.
One of them, I think it was number 10. Wow! But go to the social gatherings, the top one was at home. So you get to analyze all these things, and you the subscription age analysis, who's logging in much more. So you find that I think what shocked them that there was a 12-year one on a Sanale account. And if kids get introduced at that age, it gives them the eagerness to come and explore whatever they see. Definitely. Or try to experience it. And relate the relationship differently. Immediately, one time, the sleepover. It's already sleepover. But so easy. 15 years, I have a friend. Come in tonight. So I think in that era, there's a lot of information. There's a lot that our generation say it's about relationship that we didn't know then.
Definitely.
So for they will change the landscape altogether, then we need to actually to teach them on what to do and not to do, because it's like it's being face down again. And even if sometimes I said, what do you remember about your mother that you are grateful for, but then you are not? Okay, but right now, is it beneficial to you? Then I read the comments how people were grateful or no. I think to see it. So issue I think okay, so that tradition now, some people now realize why the parents were doing that. So I think different generations have their own era, but ours to rename more of information disseminating, educating, guiding, and helping. It's an overload of information. You never know what one the Popeye. You know, the Popeyes are all day will not have sex, but one they have a sex. And what are you teaching or implanting in a kid? Okay, you see. So you need to be very careful and selective.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well put. We're going to jump quickly into a rapid fire. Actually, I have the questions right here. But they're not that deep, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Question number 1. Where do you prefer to go on a first date?
First date. I think a drive and then a restaurant.
A drive.
Then a restaurant. Yeah.
So you'd want to take a drive, Hella, with that person.
And then go to a restaurant.
Okay. Okay. A quality time.
Quality time.
Okay.
85 love language.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Do you believe in soulmates?
Yeah.
So you believe there's that one person that's there for you? Or you believe there's more or what?
Irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one L. Okay. That's interesting. Is that where does that stem from though? Is it a psychological? Is it religion?
I think it's a belief, and it has a bit of psychology in it, and how you connect with that person naturally without, let me say effortlessly. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, the next one is, what is your biggest blunder?
Hey.
in general.
I never thought about it.
that I blew it moment for you.
I blew it. Okay, I think it was one time there was a game at Roller Center Chiefs, and I wanted to go there. And then my brother, then I bought a ticket to the game.
Yeah.
We gave duela kombi go tla kwano so ha ke tsena ka ne ka tla ka bezwa ka teng. Hey. We give kotla gore ka ntse go iragetseng. And then the other one I remember ke reka PS3. I was so excited ke batla di game tse le tsotlhe madianyana ne ke a hilwe ka tsa be ke boa ke tsa le card ya my aunt. Ke dirisa ke swipe gore ke pepe lo di ka ke swipe ba so from there on ke tla ke kwa tla ke wana e pesa metsa wa e rekisiwa bu cheap ke rekile buturu it was not a good experience.
That must have been pretty painful.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Growing up or as a child, what were you most afraid of?
Failure.
You're afraid of failing.
Yeah.
Or the fear of failure.
The fear of failure. I think I don't like failing. It took me a while to start doing certain things, and I had to make sure that I execute them the perfect way. I used to fear that, but along the way, I got to realize what failure, in fact, it's a good thing for you to learn. You need to fail for you to learn. You need to fail for you to understand certain things. So I didn't like to be second best. Even at school, I didn't pass because I wanted to. I didn't want to rob guys. So I always bala I will not let that breaking rights. It's me.
It's you.
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't do certain things like you're saying that, like for example, I'm trying to think of you as a young chap. So you didn't ask girls out just because you thought, hey, Yole, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
It
when you have fear of failure, you just focus on where you know your heart and your belief system is. So even body sports in Sarad. I get batlo reka mo so be ke taboga be le ntsia ke go ha loophole nyana go rona le breaking I get batle that so I rather avoid. So mostly I'll use an avoidance strategy to avoid failing. Makes sense. I used to be an introvert.
I mean it's hard to believe though. It's really, really hard to believe. I guess the last question on there is who is your hero today?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is she to you?
Well, I grew up without a father, and then I lost my mom when I was 6. Then I was raised by her up until my 3rd year go university. So I think she's taught me a lot of things that I'm grateful for now. And I said, if it wasn't by her, I wouldn't have known this. So a lot of life principles, a lot of systems, a lot of ideas, and the way she did things for us just to have food on the table, for us to survive, for us to be able to have day by day, even if not ahead. The way she will deal with people, help people. She was too generous, very generous. And I said, okay, why are you generous? So she never liked them like, hey man, this is waking. So started to believe much into giving, helping people. So certain traits that she gave me or I've got from her, I think I'm grateful for them. So I say I will never even forget what she has taught me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
Before I ask my last question, as a man that studies finance, and you probably study financial markets too, the economical landscape is where it is today.
Yeah.
Petrol is up. Everything is up. Wages are still at the same place. Do you think, as Kago, we're going into a recession or not?
There's a bit of that, yes. Every signals right now is showing that recession is coming, but there are certain things that we can do to avoid it. Should we come together and work together to make sure that we have already canceled. But if everything in the economic sector is peribus, yes, recession is coming.
Ish. Okay, so I said my last question, but I think people would really benefit from this. How can people today watching this set themselves up properly for recession? Because it's a lot is showing that it's imminent. How can people as an individual set themselves up well and their families? Because this is a time that's very stressful for a lot of people, but it also can be a time of opportunity. That's where opportunity it comes from also.
First and foremost, I believe much in information. Read a lot about where the world is coming to, where the economy is going to. Don't be surprised when we are telling you that Palape will be the central city of Botswana, that there's a university coming there, there's an airport coming there, and there's a hospital coming there. What is it that you can do so you can be part of the economic system that will be in place? So where is the big thing coming out of Botswana? What is next that is coming, and so forth? And Sabubedi, I'll always tell people to self-audit themselves and their families. We have a lot of asset-rich and cash-poor families. And what do I mean about this? Broke millionaires. Have you ever had something of that?
Yes.
But in terms of valuation, you have the tsimo tse pedi, the plot tse tharo tse di sa developiwang, but you are still renting. And when you could value all these things, everywhere you hano bereka tona o reka plot. And gompieno 40 o santse o ipotsa gore a tla bewa mo tirong eo kana ha ona go bewa. Because the moment a recession comes, the company is gonna cut people, work from home, and so forth. So you need to audit your assets and see which one you can turn into cash generating avenues. You can't have plot di ka tshwara bo 6 di tsimo di le 3 ro a le mabe go te boswa bo rile go teng. Find a way gore le dimana gore tsimo ya lemiwe o mo atse madi from a financial institution ha kana le rekisa plot engwe le simolle something gore madi a nne daily itse kana mogolo go le batho ne ba le ba itsetse. I think we need to really look at that, but we should commercialize it, not for us or reje hela. So that kgona go reka tsepe tse re because barter trade is long since went out of the game. So we need to self-audit. Ko malapeng a re ska re iphitlhela le gore re na le dio tse dintse tse di sa re tswele mosola. You can't have a plot is you should have one plot, one car that you drive. The rest that you accumulate will be something that's in your mind. If you are not doing that, then you are in the wrong direction. You need to sit down and ask yourself, why do you have 2 cars? Why do you have 3 cars? Why can't I sell the other one or put another one as a taxi, put another one as kombi? Where can you sell and make sure they have money stuck with what they own?
Yeah, well put.
Yeah.
Well put. My last question is, how do you want to be remembered as Kago Keotshwaetse?
As a game changer. As I think I actually have my own biography, and also obituary, eulogy. So I don't want to share it now first, but one of the key things that stands out for me is because I want to own a bank. So the first thing I always tell people, one day you'll hear about me that I have a bank. I want, when you think about me, think about that guy who had an impact and also was a kingdom financer. I want to help advance the kingdom of God through my wealthy,
hallelujah,
my riches, so that people can be born again. And that will be my thank you to God.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kago Keotshwaetse. I believe you have just heard this man is full of wisdom. He's doing so much and he's impacting so many lives. Definitely dive into his world. All the links to his socials will be down below. Make sure you like the video if you like the video, and comment below on your biggest takeaway. And without further ado, and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon and make sure that you don't miss any of the gems that will be dropping here. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we'll meet here same time, same place next week. Be great.